Have you ever noticed that when you finally get the thing you want, that phone, the new job, it just feels, I don't know, a little anticlimactic?
Totally. You chase it, you obsess over it, and then maybe 5 minutes after you have it, you're already kind of scanning the horizon for the next thing.
Exactly. Well, the stag we're diving into today argues this isn't just some personal quirk. It's what one source calls a self-inflicted epidemic.
Specifically, the epidemic of the existential void. Yeah, we're pulling from a video by Dr. Weejax and a couple of really interesting parables about caterpillars and hidden doors.
So our mission today is to unpack this cycle of endless wanting that seems to be everywhere in modern life. And the solution that's proposed, it's not what you'd expect. It's about looking backward instead of forward.
So let's start with the diagnosis. The video, it breaks down the whole cycle into this four-step progression. It starts with wanting.
Okay, just the basic impulse. You see something, you want it.
Right. But then it evolves into desiring, which is where you start, planning. You build your identity around getting it.
And then comes yearning. That's the painful part, right? That feeling of being incomplete without this thing.
That's the ache. And then you finally arrive at possessing. You buy it. But here's the trap. The satisfaction just vanishes. That's hedonic adaptation.
Oh, I've heard of this. It's like walking into a coffee shop.
Okay, yeah.
For the first 30 seconds, the smell of coffee is amazing. It's all you can think about. But 5 minutes later, you don't even smell it anymore. Your brain just normalized it.
That's a perfect analogy. The baseline resets. And the source argues we're stuck in this loop because of external comparison. We don't really want the object.
You want the validity we think it gives other people.
Exactly. Our desire is just an echo of others' desires. It's empty.
And because that feeling is so fleeting, we need a distraction. Which brings me to my favorite concept from the source text, the committee of battles.
Whoa, that's such a brilliant metaphor.
Right. It's this idea that we invent these confetti battles in our own minds, like trivial arguments on social media, getting furious over some tiny perceived slight.
We do it to have something to fight, to have a purpose, even a fake one.
We manufacture indignation just to avoid the quiet, to avoid looking at the fact that this cycle is making us miserable.
It's a failure of attention, is what the video calls it. We're so obsessed with conquering what we see on the outside in others that we become completely blind to our own inner world.
So if that's the disease, this endless hollow cycle, what's the cure? How do we actually stop?
The video's answer is pretty surprising. It says, history is the vaccine.
Okay, that sounds a bit abstract. How does reading a history book stop me from wanting a new car?
Well, think of history as a giant spoiler alert for our ambitions. You read about emperors who conquered the whole world, had all the gold you could imagine.
And they were still miserable and paranoid.
Exactly. It just proves the futility of the whole cycle. History is a catalog of what for. It kills the fantasy that more stuff will bring you peace.
So the idea is to stop trying to conquer what we see in others and start valuing what we already have.
Precisely.
But that sounds so simple. So why is it so hard? The source brings in these two parables that I think explain our resistance to this cure.
Yeah, we resist it. The first is the great hairy caterpillar.
The one who's offered the chance to turn into a butterfly and fly, but she turns it down.
Right. She says basically, no thanks, I have leaves to eat. She prefers her comfortable, known misery over a terrifying, uncertain upgrade.
It's easier to keep chewing on the same old leaf than to, completely dissolve who you are to become something new. It reminds me of the other story about who.
The man who stayed in one room his whole life, praying that nothing would ever change.
Yeah, he was terrified of this other door in his room because it was the unknown. He missed the room of peace and the room of abundance that were right there just because he was too scared to open the door.
And that's the synthesis. The epidemic of void sticks around because we, like the caterpillar and who, we prefer a comfortable hell. The hamster wheel is familiar. Getting off is scary.
So the void isn't from a lack of things. It's a lack of connection to our own lives, our own reality.
We're starving for meaning while sitting at a feast, all because we're too busy staring at our neighbor's plate. The door is always there. The chance to fly, as the parable says, it doesn't expire. It's just waiting for us to stop eating the leaves and look up.
I want to leave everyone listening with a final question from the source material that really stuck with me. If you just dissolved your imaginary battle committee today, if you stopped fighting all those tiny, meaningless wars online or in your head, what could you actually build with all that freed up energy?
That's the real question, isn't it? Most of us have no idea because we've never allowed ourselves to be quiet enough to find out.